Shalom guys, shalom everybody. So let's continue. We're in the middle of chapter 3 of the Tanya, and we are exploring the inner structure of our soul. The soul which we previously called the second soul, the godly soul. Of course it's superior comparing to the animal soul, but the animal soul, the power which animates our body, that's what we feel our conscience immediately. Much deeper spiritual potential force which we have in our possession, we don't feel so immediately. It's more subtle, it's much higher. It reveals itself through how to say, forcing or convincing our animal soul to move our body in the right direction, not in the direction which our animal part desires, but rather to the proper direction, so to speak. So it reveals itself only when we act as messengers of Hashem in this world. When we fulfill our mission, not just exist, not just live as the most advanced animals, so to speak, but as emissaries, rather, not messengers, emissaries of the Creator in this world. That's when this soul reveals itself. And we already learned about some complicated relationship between these two souls. When we formulated the question about the purpose of our existence, about the oath which our soul takes when it comes into this world, to be righteous, not to be sinner, not to be evil, and so on. You remember the long conversation about this oath? So we ask ourselves, what is tzaddik, what is rasha, what is beinoni, what is righteous, what is sinner, what is in the stage which is in between. And we saw the explanation which involves different relationship between these two souls, two parts, Yetzer Tov, Yetzer Hara. There are good inclination, evil inclination. One comes from the animal soul, another comes from our godly soul. So there is a fight, there is an inner fight. And we said that our animal soul comes from specific part of the universe, which we call other side, which was created to give us freedom of choice. And now we're talking about the godly soul and the powers of the godly soul. And we learned that the structure of the power of inner powers of the soul resembles the structure of the divine realms, the worlds, 10 sefirot, the system of 10 sefirot, channels of transformation of godly energy through which Hashem created this world, the universe, and sustains it every moment. They give existence to 10 inner powers of our soul, which is divided into two levels, sechel and midas, the mind and simply speaking, emotions, feelings. And we learned that the powers of intellect, chokhmah bina das, are called parents. Chokhmah is called Av, the father. Bina is called the mother. Das, doubt. We'll see what it is. I understand that it might be a little strange to have the third partner in that family of Chokhmah and Bina, but everything is okay without it. Actually, this is the part. Not, of course, it's not the third partner. The third partner in the good family is Hashem Himself. But Das is something else, which makes this partnership healthy family with the strong and sustainable healthy offsprings, the children, which are emotions, feelings and emotions. So the partnership the contact of the unity of Chochmah and Bina brings forth, gives birth, so to speak, doesn't create from nothing, but brings forth the existence of the emotional powers of our soul, the two main of which are Chesed and Gvura. Chesed revealed through love, Gvura is revealed through fear and awe. But we mentioned that when talking about the fear, it's not like fear of punishment, fear of pain. I mean, it's also included, but we're not talking about it when we explain the relationship between us and Creator, because this level of relationship is too low. So when we're talking about the fear and awe, it's the feeling which comes from realization of huge distance between infinity, absolute, infinite God, and little creature, which I am. The feeling of this distance creates this feeling of awe, shame. That's the emotions which we are talking about. That's the fear. It's not the fear of pain and punishment, which some say is better than nothing. And in parenting, sometimes we use that kind of fear to educate our children. Not necessarily pain and physical punishment. I mean, it was widely used in the past. Nowadays, Rabbi teaches that it should be avoided. That usage of punishment should be avoided, because in most of the cases, this would be just outlet for anger. Because usage of Gvura must be based on love to the one to whom you're trying to apply Gvura, the judgment and punishment and so on. In most of the cases, it just we let our anger to go out. It's not in order to help the person we're educating, but rather to help ourselves. So this selfish practice should be avoided, and the Gvura punishment should be used on the level of depriving certain privileges or that type of. But still, since this type of human being, kid, requires simplicity of dealing with, so that level might be and very often should be used to educate. But when we talk, even when on the level of human beings, when we're talking about the adult people, I don't know if you can give me the many examples of when the simple primitive fear should be acceptable as a part of relationship. It should be mutual respect. That's part of the same Gvura. Because what is respect? Feeling of the distance. Recognizing the distance between us, the differences between us. And you see, the respect is not it's to any person. It's not only to a person who greater than you. Then respect is mixed with awe and kind of fear and so on. Who am I? But it could and should be applied to the person who might appear low on the level, to be on the level lower than you. Just he's not part of you. There is a distance and difference between you, and that's how he was created by God, and he should be accepted the way he is. I'm not talking about the flaws and bad parts of personality and so on, that it should be dealt on the, how to say, in the business manner, so to speak, basis, but the person is different, should be accepted. He thinks differently than you, he feels differently than you. That's the respect. You let him to be whoever he is, and that's gvura, because comes from recognition of the distance and differences. I forget. I wanted to say something. You see, talking about the outcomes of COVID, it's hard to keep track.
Yeah, but what you spoke about was basically v'la'afta l'reacha kamocha, right? Gvura is that, it's imprinted in that.
Hafta l'reacha kamocha, love your fellow like yourself, is actually the heart of Tanya. Why it's called the heart of Tanya? Because that's what the 32nd chapter of Tanya deals with. 32nd, Lamed Bet, Lev. Lev, the heart of Tanya, deals with this, the explanation, the essential meaning of this mitzvah. So we'll get there one day, God willing. It's a pity. I missed that point which I wanted to make. So the main offsprings of Chochmah and Bina, father and mother, are love and fear, and we start with the fear, right? We discussed the levels of greatness of godliness which the person's mind should try to apprehend, which creates the feeling of awe and fear. So it starts with that feeling. Let's continue. V'shuv yislach libo bi'ava aza hirish v'eish b'chashicha v'chfeitzo tshuka v'nefesh sheikeiko l'gdulas ein sof baruhu. Next, his heart will glow with an intense love, like burning coals, with a passion, desire, and longing, and the yearning soul towards the greatness of Ein Sof, blessed. See, Ein Sof means infinity. That's the Kabbalistic term referring to God. We cannot describe what is God. Any positive description, so to speak, would be limiting him. So we're using negative expression. It's still being expression limits, so we need to understand it. We're not we're not describing God, but that's the closest we can get to calling him the one who doesn't have any limits, Ein Sof. So the next impulse, so to speak, after creating the wave of awe, the person's heart would start burning with a love, opposite emotion. Right? Where is our picture of the? I didn't write the names of the children.
Yes.
But you can imagine. So on the right side is Chesed, on the left is Gvura. So on the right is love, the left is fear and awe, and it's interesting. It's interesting that we start with fear. Let's first continue with the next sentence, the even higher levels of love, because we mention here different stages, different levels of intensity of that emotion. V'hi kloisa nefesh, t'chsif nichsa v'gam kolson nafsh v'goymer. T'chsif tzoma nafsh elokim, t'chsif tzoma l'cha nafsh. This constitutes the culminating passion of the soul, of which Scripture speaks, as my soul yearns, indeed it pines, and my soul thirsts for God, and my soul thirsts for you. This is the quotation from the script, from Tehillim, from Psalms. describing these levels of love, burning love. But before we explore it, so to speak, let's first concentrate on the fact that the emotion which is mentioned first is what? Was what? On the last class. Spoke about fear, gvura, awe and fear. From thinking about the greatness of God on different levels we described. First we mention the feeling of awe and fear. The realization of greatness and the infinite distance between me and Creator, that creates the feeling of awe and fear. And this contains very important lesson, which is very useful in any relationship. When we build a relationship, be it a marriage, let's say, family, when we create a family, what is the main thing? Which feeling is the main? What would you say?
Connection.
Love. That's the honest answer. That's what most people think, feel, and say. In relationship, love is the main thing. But let's think, is love a good feeling, a good thing to be a foundation for the relationship? To build the edifice of a relationship on that foundation?
No.
Why not?
Shake.
Yeah,
Why is it shaking?
Because the other side can
Love
take
comes and goes.
advantage
Right,
on
love
your
comes
love.
and goes. If you don't necessarily know what the other person of theirs.
That's
They
not
actually
stable.
mean it. Like, yeah, people will be like, "Yeah, I love you," and then not necessarily, or like, it just goes. Like,
That's just. You're worried about the other person being inauthentic.
well, no, because then it's.
I think he's asking, what about actually building a relationship on real love, not when both people love each other? Is that still good? I think that's what the question is, right?
Yes. Yes.
I think it's not.
That's
because
it's very good.
when I know that the other side is love me, I can take advantage of this love and
knowing.
like.
Let's analyze. Let's
corner.
compare.
Love is fleeting.
Just
Oh, I
the.
got it.
Okay, good point. Let's compare just two
Because when
sentences.
you-
I love you, and I respect you. Which word is the main? Has the primary importance in both sentences? Which word is the how to say prevails, dominates in I? In the sentence I love you, it's I love you. When I say I respect you,
It's I respect you.
but if you analyze which kind of feeling and emotion and channel of relationship it describes, it's you. It's the other part. Because respecting, when I'm talking about respect, I put myself aside. I have to compromise on many things to proclaim the respect to someone who is different from me, who thinks differently, feels different, and so on. You understand? In respect, the object dominates. In love, the subject is the main thing. It's I. So love, even the most elevated love, still selfish, still has the element of selfishness. Even love towards God, it's I love you, it's I'm earning, I want to, as we will explore, I want to reconnect, to leave everything and to be one with the object of this feeling. It's selfish. So to build a relationship on the foundation which has selfishness as a main element, even elevated and holy and so lofty and spiritual, still selfishness is not good element to be a part of foundation. It will undermine the whole building, the whole structure. the foundation should be based on selfishness, which is selflessness, which is respect in any relationship, in the family, even business partners, and of course the relationship with God. And that's why we start with the awe and fear, the shuv, and then.
Can we have a selfless relationship with God?
If you have to combine these two things, love and fear. That's there's a whole Kabbalistic concept, Ratzov Shov, and it should be balanced.
Because then you would realize there will be no self without Hashem. Once you put those two together, then it's automatically self.
Right, it's very complicated combination of different factors, feelings, and ideas, which should be put together and balanced. It's very, very, very important to find the proper balance. But again, the foundation is respect, awe and fear. But then the building should be built from love and affection and so on. But based on the foundation where there is no element of selfishness. Okay. So the next, yeah.
What is like fear of God in Hebrew? It's called irah, and there is no good translation in English to say that, but it's the irah. It's the combination. It's the perfect combination between love and respect in certain.
No, love is love is different emotion.
Yeah, but I mean, like when you said irat Hashem, it's like he have the fear of God, but he also have the respect to God.
So respect is part of the fear because it's selfless. It's based on bitul, the self-nullification, and the main is the object of my feeling. In respect, that's the object, is the main. But what I wanted to tell you it was a story about one chassid of, I think, Rabbi from Permishlan, who was a very, very kind person. And his chassid came to him with the question, how to understand the mitzvah, the obligation to fear Hashem, to have a fear of God. To love God, it's easy to understand. But what does it mean and why it's needed to have a fear? Rabbi smiled, looked at him, and he told me, "You love me, right?" Of course. Do you have any fear? Are you afraid of me? And the chassid couldn't answer because he didn't want to appear being disrespectful, but the Rebbe was such a kind person to say that you're afraid of him. It's nonsense. Maybe a little bit. No, totally. You no fear. You don't afraid of me at all. He said, no, Rebbe, I'm afraid to harm our mutual love. He said that's the best fear. That's the illustration to the topic.
I feel like, if I may,
Sure.
it won't bite you. Limiting fear to punishment is like limiting love to gifts.
It's a good aphorism. I need to think about it.
What do you say? Limiting fear to punishment is like
Why did I
limiting
have
love
that
to
in the car?
gifts.
There was a bug in the...
It landed on your nose.
Good saying. Okay.
I don't know if it works for everyone.
Like, just a moment. I'm sorry, I didn't mean in the conversation. I've been with the drunk monk.
Oh, he didn't fall
What?
into the
Managed to
wine?
get him
The
in the
moth
cup.
landed on his nose, and he wiped it off, and it landed in the wine.
And now he's very
Oh
drunk.
boy.
Yeah, he's very dead. He drowned in wine.
He's drunken.
At least he had a happy death.
I'm sorry, David. What was your question?
It was just a statement that limiting fear to punishment is like limiting love to gifts.
Yeah.
Like it's in the same,
Abstract. Who's limiting the fear?
like saying that
Too
fear
limited.
is just when someone punishes you. That's what you're afraid of. It's like love being only when someone gives you something.
Got it. You can be afraid of the person who's been giving you punishments.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of like the person giving you the punishment.
So you only fear of the.
You
you're only
get
afraid of the
rewarded
person.
for good.
That's why wouldn't.
No, but like I mean, like in terms of fear as being, we're talking about fear as in terms of punishment. Like when someone you're afraid of the punishment, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's like love being you only love them because they're giving something to you. But we understand when we talk about
What
love, we
he means
understand it's
it's
more
like
complex.
you get
kind of level
rewarded for the
things.
good part of the relationship, and you get punished for the bad parts of the relationship.
No, I think what he's saying is to define fear as fear of punishment is limiting to the definition in the same way that you'd be limiting the description of love by referring to that as only gift giving.
Okay, let's go back to the love.
Yes.
Sorry?
Sorry to
That's
take so
the-
much time away.
Is that what you're trying to
yeah,
say?
yeah.
You have a good way
Okay.
of extrapolating what people are saying.
So one second. On which one we start? Vehicle is a nefesh.
What's that for?
Okay.
It's a compliment.
Thank you.
That wasn't there. You that one.
So we describe love, the passion of the soul, which Scripture says, my soul yearns, indeed it pines, my soul thirsts. So we combine different expressions. It's a thirst, it's yearning, because you remember the essence of love, the essential idea of love is the desire to be together, to be connected. So when the person's mind, intellect, Chochmah and Bina, apprehend the greatness of God, first it creates the fear and awe, but also it creates the thirst, the desire, the revelation of desire to reunite. We are here in this wretched place, darkest level of reality, and it reminds us that it all comes from infinite God, and our soul, these thoughts, this work of the mind, of Chochmah and Bina, creates realization, reminds him about the source from which the soul came here, which creates the desire to reunite. But this desire actually might be kind of dangerous. Because what does it mean for the soul to return to the source? Death. So this feel of love, burning love, should be managed, should be balanced by the opposite substance, emotional substance, fear and awe. Because what is fear and awe? It also the recognition of the distance. He's infinite, I'm finite, and I'm here. Why I'm here? Why am I here? Because he placed me here. I'm here on purpose. I'm on a mission. So it's great that I remember who am I and where I came from, but it's not time yet for me to leave the workplace. That's what the lack of this balance and harmony was the source of the death of two children of Aaron, who died because the unbalanced love to Hashem.
You just made me think about something.
Who, Avram?
Nadav Avihu, two older sons of Aharon, the brother of Moses, of Moshe.
Oh,
They were burned on the day of the sanctification of the temple. And the Kabbalah explains, Chassidus explains that the source of their death was unbalanced love to Hashem. Their love was so strong, and it wasn't controlled by fear.
Yeah.
Wow.
It should be two vectors. How to say? Two vectors. Love up, the desire to reconnect, reunite, and
like
to return. But return in that context is not return, because shuv is return, and in that context we're talking about coming back, go back where you are in your mind, return yourself. It's great to earn and to have desire to elevate, but you are here on purpose. And remember, the one whom you love, he sent you here to accomplish certain to do the job. So that should be combined and
like the flame is representing love. It keeps on trying to go up, but its source is down here. So if it eventually goes up too high, it disappears.
And that's why it's a little bit paradoxical, because the fire also associated with the Gvura. Here, the love is symbol of burning love. It's like two elements are so intertwined, like yin yang, and you see here the desire to elevate is the representation of the inner element of fire, because what's the idea of fire? It's elevation. Fire strives to go up, even to disconnect itself from the wick, and that's the symbol of love. And if it's not balanced, then this disconnection from the wick could cause death, like with the sons of Aaron. So what?
It's like infancy.
So this thirst must be balanced, must be satisfied with the water. What do you say?
I said like infancy. It's like so you said before, kind of reminded me of that. It's like we want to cling to our source because because of the comfort of the love that we get from our parents. But in order to fulfill whatever we need to fulfill as people, we have to kind of pull away from that,
right?
And a certain, while honoring them, which is I guess the balance of the source.
Stay on ground while reaching
staying
up.
in the source, and then something.
Right.
This came to mind.
Right. Okay, let's go to the next one. והצימון הוא מיסוד האש שבנפש אלוהיקיס. וכמו שכוסו הטבעים, וכן הוא בעץ חיים שיסוד האש הוא בלב, ומקור המים והלכס מהמוח. וכמו שכוסו בעץ חיים שרנון שהיא בחינס חוכמה שנקרא מים שבנפש אלוהיקיס. This thirst is derived from the element of fire, which is found in the divine soul, as students of natural science affirm, and so it is in Eitz Chaim. The element of fire is in the heart, while the source of the element of water and moisture is in the brain, which is explained in Eitz Chaim, the gate number 50, to refer to the faculty of Chokhmah, called the water of the divine soul. Okay, I hope it doesn't appear totally gibberish to you. So we just realized that the love is associated with element of fire. We can compare it to burning love. In human body, what the referral to the natural science, again, we're talking about the not the modern level of medical science and so on, but still, even simple level, simply speaking, what's the revelation of element of fire in the human body? That's the temperature of body. That's why we say that the element of fire in, let's say, in the sea creatures, in the fishes, is very minimal. That's why they needed additional blessing to multiply and reproduce, because it's connected. This function in the creatures is connected with the element of fire. Since the fish is in fish, the element of fire is very limited. They needed additional boost of energy of blessing to become reproductive, so to speak. But in human body, this element is openly revealed through the temperature. And the fever, when this temperature gets too high, automatically creates thirst, desire for water, because what balances the fire? Water. So what it has to do with our soul? How should we extinguish this fire of love? No, it's not. Usage of symbols is very limited. Again, we illustrate certain part, energy, heat, and so on. Right away, we switch to call it thirst, and now we need the water. We need the water as a tool to satisfy the thirst, not in order to extinguish the fire. The fire should stay there, but it should be managed, balanced and so on. But that thirst, which comes as a result of this revelation of the fire, that could be satisfied. And what corresponds to the concept of order in our soul? Chokhmah. Learning.
Cold logic.
Not necessarily cold. It's called water not because it's cold, even though that's usually when you're thirsty. We're not looking for the cup of hot tea. Actually, people who think how to satisfy thirst in the best way, they might think of maybe green tea or whatever, but it's not our first how to say desire towards first inclination. When we're thirsty, which comes from the heat, we want not just water, we want cold water. Not necessarily it's the best thing to. But again, water, in mystically speaking, does not necessarily associated with coldness. And when we say this is chokhmah, wisdom and knowledge, so on, it's not cold logic.
We're just thinking about cold.
It's some.
I think fire versus.
Okay, again.
Philip's saying it's cold logic.
Oh, he's saying okay.
So he's saying it's not necessarily cold.
But the main idea why wisdom and knowledge is associated with water, it's because of the ability to come from the highest levels to the lowest one, remaining the same substance.
Wow. Interesting.
So the wisdom of the Torah, it comes from infinity, from godliness, from Himself. And being enclosed in the words of the Torah, transformed in different concepts, it could be observed by the human mind in our symbols, in our words, creating the picture of our understanding, but essentially it remains the same wisdom of God, wisdom of Torah. That's the idea why we compare it to the water. And that's the source of to satisfy the thirst of the soul. When the soul is thirsty and wants to elevate, to fly up, the way to balance and to bring harmony is to learn, to think and learn. Again, we just said that learning about greatness of God fuels this love, but it also brings the satisfaction. When you learn more, you get more understanding of your responsibilities here. Yeah, it's great to fly up and to reconnect, but we have responsibilities. That's the knowledge which satisfies this thirst.
To fulfill the mitzvot.
Yes. Yes. And in order to fulfill the mitzvot, you need to learn.
Mm-hmm.
You need to know what to do, how to do it better, how to infuse these actions with more feelings, more understanding, which which improves the way how we fulfill those mitzvot. Because it also brings you desire to fulfill mitzvot, not just to get the check mark, but to really accomplish the mission. You understand that all our mitzvahs, they transform the world. They make an effect in this world. They rebuild this world into the dwelling place for God. That's the purpose of creation. And then the realization of which gives you desire to do it better. Not just on a minimal level, to be yoitze, just to fulfill minimally, but maybe to invest more time, more efforts, more money, because Hidro mitzvah, to be a Jew is very costly, very expensive, and to be a good Jew is even more expensive. But this realization, this thinking and learning, that's what brings more enthusiasm and motivation to fulfill your destiny.
The reasons behind it.
Exactly.
The Simon that he's referring to here is the same Simon that you were referring to in the last.
I missed the word.
The Simon that he's referring to here.
It's what?
That's
Simon.
the thirst.
Yeah. Okay. Simon. Okay.
That's the same thirst that you were referring to before with.
Associated with love.
With wanting to return to the source.
Yes.
Which is you said is a bad thing if not
not balanced. And the way to balance to learn.
Is it that's why it's connected to the heart, which is the nefesh behind the
No, not necessarily. We're talking about right now. We're talking about nefesh elokit, the divine soul, and still, it's hard because it's emotions. Emotions is still in the heart. But we'll talk later how they share this heart, both souls, the animal and the divine. Okay. ושאר המידות כולם הם ענפי העיר והאהב ותולדי סין, כמו שכוסו במקום אחר. The rest of the midas are all the offshoots of fear and love and their derivations, as it explained elsewhere. Offshoots, branches, right? Where is it written about the panda? Panda eats shoots and leaves. It depends how you read it. Eats, shoots, and leaves.
Panda is a lot of things.
Okay, now, so you understand. So all other emotional faculties are offsprings of continuation, developments of the main two, Chesed and Gvura. Remember, we do exactly. We discussed all these seven powers: Chesed, Gvura, Tiferet, Netzach, Hod, Yesod, and Malchut. They correspond to certain emotional revelations, but it's all are developments of the main Chesed, Gvura, love and fear. Okay. Now, the most intriguing part, as we said, of this lovely family of Chochmah and Bina. והדס הוא מלושן ואדם יודע אס חווה, והוא לושן היסקשרוס והיסחברוס, שנקשר דייטי בקשר אומץ וחוזק מעיד, ואיסקה מחשבתי בחזק ובגדולס אין סוף ברוך הוא ואין מסיח דעתי. Okay, let's translate this paragraph. Thus, the etymology of which is to be found in the verse Adam, and Adam knew, Yada, Eve, implies attachment and union. That is, one binds his mind with a very firm and strong bond to, and firmly fixes his thought on, the greatness of the Ein Sof blessed is he, without diverting his mind from him. Thus, is not the third partner in the union of Chochmah and Bina. Is the regime, the mode of their interaction, so to speak. That's what means that the union of Chochmah and Bina is a family union, so to speak, with all the seriousness and sincerity, and not just sporadic, connection, so to speak. You understand? Which, practically speaking, what does it mean? It means that the person disciplines herself, to use the brain which he is given, to use his mind to constantly think about these great ideas, think about the greatness of God. Not just sometimes feeling inspiration, he sees something really wonderful, and it triggers his Chochmah, which shares some trace of its fist with Bina, as we spoke, which creates some emotion, and 5 minutes later, where is this emotion? Nowhere. But when this union is like, in the family, normally, you don't live together when you feel like this. You just live together. That's your partnership. This is your spouse. This is your family. And that's what means applying to our Chochmah and Bina. To use our mind constantly, regularly, routinely, so to speak, and to the fullest measure. Because you cannot be, in the family, cannot be some husbandish. Today I'm 30% husband. Sounds absurd. The same here. You should use our mind in the fullest measure and regularly. And only then it will create the healthy offsprings of proper emotions, stable emotions, really existing, not just sporadically appearing and disappearing. And that will create the healthy personality of the person, because our personality is built from those bricks, elements, essentially emotional elements. Those 7 faculties, they create their revelation, their joint work creates what we call personality. And it all comes from the work of our mind. And the doubt is the seriousness of union of Chochmah and Bina, the proper connection. That's why the first time when the Torah uses this verb, the root of this verb, it's when it describes the first couple, the first human couple, Adam Yada at Chava. Because it's proper connection. Only then the person you can create for yourself strong personality, balanced personality, built on harmony of proper activation of all your inner powers.
What ruined it, the physical temptations, like the tree. Etzadat, when Adam ate from Etzadat, he broke down a lot of the da'at and removed it because of physical temptation.
That's right. When it was just one of the aspects. They didn't acquire any additional knowledge by violating this prohibition. The etzadas, for them, they actually, I would prefer not to go into this because it will, deviate us from. It's interesting topic, but I can make the whole lecture just about this story. Questions. One second. Let's continue. כי אף מישהו חכם ונבון בגדולת אינסוף ברוך הוא. הנה אם לא יקשר דעתי ויתקמחשבתי בחוזק ובהסמודה לילד בנפשי יראה ואהבה אימיסיס כי אם דמיון ישוף. For even one who is wise and understanding of the greatness of Hashem, Ein-Sof, blesses He, will not, unless he binds his knowledge and fixes his thought with firmness and perseverance, he will not produce in his soul true love and fear, but only vain fancies. Like we just said before. If it's sometimes sporadic and so on, it won't produce anything solid and sound and proper. על כן, הדאז הוא קיום המידוס וחיוסם, והוא כולל חסד וגבורה, פירוש אהבה וענווה ויראה. I'm sorry. Therefore, that is the basis of the midot, and the source of their vitality. It contains chesed and gvura, that is to say, love with its offshoots and fear with its offshoots, like we said before. Das is also something, is when you really live with what you learn about. The simplest, the most primitive example is about the lecturer, let's say the doctor, who gives a lecture about the how harmful it is to smoke, right? And after the lecture, he comes out and lights a cigarette. He knows, right? He has a knowledge, he has information, but it doesn't penetrate him. It doesn't affect his personality. Doesn't direct his actions. And that's what being provided by das, the connector between mind and emotion. Thank you.